Michael A. Battle, U.S. Ambassador to Tanzania, and U.S. Representative to the EAC, the East African Community. It's Tanzania because the word Tanzania comes from Tanganyika and Zanzibar. So the first three letters of each, Tanzania. Now, some people say Tanzania. You say it's potatoes, potatoes.
Yeah,
it means the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. When we talk about the military-to-military partnership with Tanzania, it's significant on a number of levels. One of the primary levels is that Tanzania's location on the Indian Ocean corridor, with access to the Middle East and Europe, and access to China and to India and other places on this corridor. By the U.S. having a presence with the Tanzanian Army and Navy and Marine and Air Force, it gives us an opportunity to be present in the Indian Ocean. It gives us an opportunity to show that our interest is global. It is not located in the Western Hemisphere exclusively. Tanzania, as a key part of East Africa, a stable country in East Africa, provides us an exceptional partner for strategic as well as technical operation. Okay. Well, first of all, let me go back to an excellent demonstration of the 3Ds. A couple of months ago, I hosted a lunch at my house, and we had General Shawley, commander of CJTF-4, and we had our director of USAID, and myself, and representatives from 14 different United Nations agencies at the same luncheon. And someone made the point that represented at that table were the 3Ds of American foreign policy. Defense does its job clearly. We all know what defense is for. It's to maintain peace and stability. We do that through our engagement in Tanzania. We do it through our engagement with CJTF-4, through our engagement with AFRICOM. In terms of development, we are the largest development partner for Tanzania. We spend on average over 800 million US dollars per year on development issues with PEPFAR, with the malaria programs, with programs that we do in terms of helping young entrepreneurs in Tanzania, not only to fund them if they have a good concept, but making sure that they have guidance and mentorship. And then in terms of diplomacy, where we are working across the board with all of the different agencies in the Tanzanian government to make sure that our diplomatic channels remain open. The reality is that if the diplomatic channels are not open, it's difficult, if not impossible, to have a meal-to-meal relationship. If the diplomatic channels are not open, it's impossible to have a development relationship. And so what we're now doing with diplomacy is watching us go from a transition from aid and development to a trade and investment orientation, which is continually consistent with the notion of development. It's just developing Tanzania's economy to the point that it can be a trade partner and an investment partner with the U.S. more than an entity that receives aid and development from the U.S. The top priorities from Tanzania and from any country that we're working with is listen to us, find out what our needs are, find out what our concerns are. The movement from aid and development to trade and investment is because we have heard Tanzania. Tanzania is moving toward being a lower middle to a middle income country. It wants investment. It wants trade more than it wants aid and development. In terms of military to military, what Tanzania is asking for is strengthening capacity. Tanzania doesn't need us to come in and defend it. Tanzania needs us to come in and strengthen its capacity to defend itself. Tanzania doesn't need us to come and displace its officers in training. It wants us to come in and augment the training that it does for its officers. For example, just a couple of days ago when General Langley was in town, we were able to participate in the groundbreaking of a new barracks at the Tanzanian Defense Intelligence College. Well, we built that same college back in 2009, and now we're adding a barracks to it. We're augmenting Tanzania's capacity. We're strengthening Tanzania's capacity to collect intelligence, which is necessary. So we provide training opportunity, capacity building, enhancement levels for Tanzanian military. That's what they want from us. They don't need us to defend them. They need us to support them. And that's what the U.S. does best. When you look at Tanzania, since its founding in the early 1960s, Tanzania, as an East African country, has never had an unconstitutional change in government, has never had division and infighting because of religious differences or ethnic or tribal differences. Tanzania has been a bastion of peace and stability. It is in our strategic interest, and it is in our vested national interest as Americans to keep Tanzania stable because its stability represents a foundation in East Africa of governmental, constitutional, and military stability, which allows us to have a better trading partner with the rest of the world. So we are vested in terms of our interest in maintaining peace and stability in Tanzania, just as Tanzania is vested in maintaining peace and stability. And then I go back to what I had said earlier. What Tanzania asks of us over and over is to strengthen our capacity. You know, I remember years ago when I was U.S. ambassador to the African Union, the chairperson of the African Union used to say to myself and other Americans, as well as other Westerners, don't come to us and tell us that we don't have capacity and then walk away and leave us. Come to us and help us develop the capacity that we can stand on our own, that we can defend ourselves. Because if we're able to defend ourselves, we don't need American soldiers' boots on our grounds. What we need is American military expertise in communications, expertise in training, expertise in intelligence gathering, so we can defend our own turf and defend it well. The military barracks will provide an opportunity for Tanzanian officers who are in intelligence training. It's sort of like our Fort Huachuca, but it will provide an opportunity for the military officers to live in comfort, but not just with Tanzanian officers, but they are using it also for people from other nations who come to the Tanzanian Defense Intelligence College for extended courses. The facility is absolutely gorgeous. I've seen the architectural layout. Every room will have its own balcony. There's a nice design where there's the center of the building, and then it sort of wings out in living quarters, plus meeting rooms, a phenomenal parking space. And it would be the second major facility we would have built for the Tanzanian Defense Intelligence College. I participated in the opening of one of the JSETs, and when I looked out at the audience and saw the American soldiers who had come here to participate in training alongside Tanzanian soldiers, and to see the development of friendship that happened between soldier to soldier, and the fact that the Tanzanians are looking to us because we tend to be the best in the world in terms of training and keeping people up with professional development. And the Tanzanians have expressed tremendous appreciation for what we do. What they like most of all is that when we participate in training, we exchange ideas. We don't hold back in terms of expertise. We're parting expertise to Tanzanian soldiers because it is our expectation that the more we are able to give in terms of intellectual exchange, the more strong the Tanzanian military would be. So it's been a win-win for us and a win-win for the Tanzanians as well.